What is up, guys? I'm Perp the Derp, and today I'm going to be ranking the original 151 Pokemon. Every Pokemon from Kanto I'm going to be ranking from the absolute best favorite Pokemon, the greatest designs of all time, all the way down to the dumpster fire of designs that I just don't even want to look at. Bulbasaur, excellent design. I think he's adorable. I love that he's like his name implies he's a dinosaur with a bulb on his back. But I love the idea that he's kind of just a little baby dinosaur and he has the bulb that blooms into flowers as he evolves and he gets bigger. He doesn't seem like just a generic dinosaur. Like Charizard, for example, he does seem like a generic dinosaur. Now I'll get to him in a minute, but Bulbasaur, it's hard to tell what he is. He's kind of like a frog crossed with a dinosaur. It's a very unique design. His face especially sells it because, look at this little guy. And then he evolves into Ivysaur, who I also think is S tier. They're very similar designs because they didn't feel... I love that they didn't feel the need to completely transform him and add all sorts of things. Like, they had a unique idea and then they went with it. Venusaur, I think is A tier. I don't really like the way his body's designed. He's definitely lost the cuteness, which is kind of the way with evolution, and that's not a bad thing in any way. That it represents their development. But I don't know. It's not cool to me. It's not cute. It's just, I just find it a little weird. I like it for sure. It's not like I don't like it. It's just not up in S tier for me. But this whole evolution line, I love the idea behind it. Charmander is adorable. Kind of. I don't find him that interesting, to be honest. Like, he's a lizard who stands on his hind legs and his tail's on fire. And if the fire goes out, he dies. So that's the entire lore. Charmeleon is B tier to me because he's still cool. In fact, he's still cool, but he's got that awkward mid-evolution stage, like teenager years, that so many Pokemon, especially the starters, fall into this. The second evolutionary stage is just not that great. Obviously, Ivysaur does not fall victim to that because he's adorable and cool at the same time. Charmeleon is not. Charizard is very cool. I would put him up in A tier again. I think he's a really cool Pokemon. I can't tell if A tier or S tier because I think he's really cool. Very basic design. Charmander is just a lizard with fire on his tail. Charizard is just a dragon with fire on his tail. I think he's cool. He's just... I don't know, I'm gonna put him in S tier because he's a really cool Pokemon. I definitely think he's overrated. He's not S tier for sure, but I'd call him an S tier Pokemon. Squirtle, very cool. Have you seen Squirtle Squad? Just slap some glasses on that bad boy and then he's the coolest Pokemon of all time. Wartortle, I like it. He loses the cuteness of Bulbasaur just a bit, but I kind of like how he adds something new. He's got wings on his head and then like the cloud tail on the back. Oh wait, I just realized. I've always thought that's a cloud. Squirtle's tail is like a wave and then Wartortle's tail is like the crashing wave. That's a pretty cool idea. He's got the wings on his head again. I have no idea what those are. I don't know. It's a cool design though. I'd say that's an S tier design as far as Pokemon go. And Blastoise as well. Again, he's just a big turtle with cannons in his back, but something about him just speaks to me. I don't know. That's the main thing with the Pokemon overall. At the center, they're just something that exists in real life, altered a little bit, which is fair. That's just sort of how it's always been, and especially considering there's hundreds upon hundreds of them now, you can't expect all of them to be completely original designs that are have no foundation in anything, but are still really cool to look at and interesting and so on and so forth. That's just too much to ask from anybody. Even one singular design like that takes a very long time to create and takes a very imaginative mind. I really like the way Pokemon's approach this with their whole take something that exists and alter it a little with a unique idea and then put it in our art style and then it's Pokemon. I think Blastoise is an amazing reflection of that. He's just a turtle, big turtle, in our art style. He's blue because he's water type. He has the big water jets coming out of his back because he's water type and he's strong. And that's about all there is to it, but I think he's really cool. Caterpie is adorable, a very adorable Pokemon. I love him. I love that his design, that he's a little caterpillar that wiggles along. I love the episode where he scares the living daylights out of Misty. Metapod is, I'd call him B tier. I think he's a really cool design, honestly. I like his design. I'm gonna stick him up in A tier, actually. I kind of like him. He's very basic, and he's not Kakuna, who again we'll get to in a bit, but I love him. Butterfree, S tier design. Somehow they took literally just a butterfly and made it so iconic. I don't know, like they didn't add anything to it that, as far as I can see. He's just, I don't know, he's an adorable little butterfly. That's all there is to it, really. Weedle is very cool. Not a whole lot to it. He's a worm with pointy bits on the end. It's not like Caterpie, who kind of, like, there's so many unique elements, like the circles and the whatever horn thing he's got going on. Weedle is just a worm with the pointy bits. Very iconic though. I love him as a Pokemon, but I wouldn't say he's S tier. Kakuna also A tier. I think I'm not gonna rank these within the tiers. I'm just gonna stick him in the order they came. But I would definitely say I like Kakuna's design more than Metapod. Something about it, you can really tell it's a living creature. You can tell it's like, I don't know, getting more aggressive inside the shell. Something about it is just amazing. Beedrill is S tier, for sure. I mean, he's a bee that can walk. He has butterfly-shaped wings. He has drill hands. This is a really cool Pokemon. I've always loved Beedrill. Pidgey he's the definition of a bee Pokemon. Like, he's just a bird in the Pokemon style, basically. Which is nothing wrong with that. Like I said, you need the boring Pokemon, you need the cooler Pokemon. Do we need the lame Pokemon? I guess. I don't know. Some of them I feel like we definitely could do without, but it is what it is. Pidgeotto's cooler. I don't know if he's in B or A tier. I feel like because he's got more design to it, I definitely like him a bit more than Pidgey. B is not quite boring. It's like almost boring, but I still like you. C is like, it's below C that I stop liking them, basically. Or like, I'll kind of like them, but it's borderline. B is I kind of like you, A is I really like you, and C is I very much like you, and S tier is my absolute favorites. And then you get down to the dumpster fire section, which we'll get to later. Pidgeot is literally just Pidgeotto but flying, and with yellow in his hair. Well, the yellow's gone from his tail to his hair. That's all there is to it. They did not put any effort into that evolution. Like from Pidgey to Pidgeotto, you can see the effort and the transition. Pidgeotto to Pidgeot, you could show me these two pictures and I would probably think that they were the same Pokemon, just different artworks if I didn't know better. Rattata is B tier. He's just a rat. I think he's pretty cool. Honestly, I would almost put him up in A tier. I feel like he's almost A tier, but he's pretty B to me. Raticate is B tier again, but lower, almost in C tier. I kind of like him, but he's meh. He's a very meh Pokemon to me. Fearow is cooler though. Again, like Pidgey is just a bird. Fearow has a bit more going on with him. I don't know about what is about him, but I think he's a really cool Pokemon. Spearow, I have mixed feelings about Spearow. I think he's got a cool design. I've never really liked it personally. Not so much the design, I don't know. I don't like the Pokemon. I don't know. That's just all there is to it. I'm gonna stick him in B because I feel like he's B. That's about it. This is not meant to be an objective tier list. This is my opinion, so, you know. Ekans is cool. Ekans is S tier, and so is Arbok. Arbok, I might even put him up in SS tier. We'll see. Because they're both really cool. Arbok is especially cool with the hood he's got going on. I don't know. I like them. Pikachu, easily SS tier. So is Raichu. They're amazing Pokemon. Some of my absolute favorites. Always love them. They're the most popular ones for a reason. Sandshrew is cute. I would put him in S tier, honestly. He's a very cute Pokemon. I love him. He's got the, he looks like he's made of bricks because he's ground type, and he's a little chunky and he can roll up in a ball. Sandslash, I think is SS tier. I've always really liked Sandslash. I don't know, something about him. He's so pointy, he's got the claws, and his face, I think is my favorite part about it. Something about his face is really cool. The way, like, he's got the adorableness of Sandshrew, but it's like honed to be sharper and cooler. I don't know, I've always liked Sandslash. Nidoran, oh yeah, Nidoran is female, is A tier or B tier? I feel like it's A tier. It's a pretty original design. I don't know what it's based off of. Rabbit, a mouse, something like that. I think that both Nidorans are pretty cool. Same with Nidorina. Nidoqueen is also A tier. I'd almost put it... Is it an A tier or an S tier design? I've never been a huge fan of them myself, so I'll stick them in A tier. Just because they've never really appealed to me. I think they're really cool designs, I like them, but I feel like the whole evolutionary line for both, I don't know, Nidoran male is kind of cooler in my opinion. It's got that pointiness, I like that. The Nidorino is, I'm not so sure about. Nidoking, I feel like is cooler, yeah. These two get in on being cooler. These four are not quite as cool in my opinion. Clefairy is S tier, easily. Adorable little Pokemon, squishy. Clefable, I think is kind of a downgrade, just a little bit, but it's like they're practically the same. One is just a bit smaller and squishier and cuter. Though by that logic, I should like Cleffa more, but no, I like Clefable the most of the three. Vulpix S tier, and Ninetales is SS tier. I feel like Vulpix would almost go... Do I want Vulpix in SS tier? Or do I want her in S tier? Ninetales is definitely SS tier. I love Ninetales' design. I think Vulpix is adorable. I don't think it goes in SS. Yeah, it's not as... I don't think it's quite there. It's very close. Top of S tier for me, but it's not one of my absolute favorites like Ninetales is. Jigglypuff, again, adorable. I think Jigglypuff is better than Clefairy. Fight me. Clefable, Wigglytuff is a B tier. In my opinion, that's a pretty big drop. Jigglypuff is like round, and Wigglytuff is still round, but in the wrong ways. I don't know how to put it, but Jigglypuff is infinitely better than Wigglytuff to me. Zubat's pretty cool. Zubat is an A tier. Zubat's an S tier design. Golbat is A tier. I like both of them, but to me, Zubat is pretty cool with the no eyes thing and the, maybe it's just the angle, but I think he's got a great design. And Golbat is like big gaping maw. That's kind of cool. It's not my favorite. It definitely brings it back around for Crobat, but that's not in the original 151, so we're not gonna be talking about that. I love Oddish. Oddish is S tier to me. Something about him. He's just adorable, and he's like, I don't know. He's a leafy little boy. He's a leafy boy. That's all I need. Gloom. Wait. Which one's Gloom and which one's Vileplume? Okay, so this one's Gloom. This one's Vileplume. Vileplume is S tier. Gloom is kind of A tier. It's again an awkward transition, but I think it's a really cool. It's still pretty. It's a pretty cool Pokemon. These two are really cool Pokemon. Paris and Parasect. Let's see, where do I want these? I like them. I feel like, is Paris A tier or S tier? I feel like Paris is an A tier. Parasect is in S tier. Paris is pretty cool, but just a little boring in my opinion. Never appealed to me that much. Parasect, somehow more boring, but something about the fact that he's got no pupils in his eyes, it really sells the whole creature peering out from beneath something aesthetic that he's got going on. I think that's really cool. Oh, Venonat, one of my favorites. I love Venonat. He's adorable. Venomoth too. Venomoth is cool. Definitely like Venonat better, but they're both S tier Pokemon to me. Diglett. I'm stuck here. I like Diglett and Dugtrio. I've never been massive into them. They're just, like, they're iconic. They're quintessentially Pokemon, but it's just, there's not really anything there. They're just, they're cylinders sticking from the ground with noses and mouths, with noses and eyes. Meowth is S tier, obviously. So is Persian. Persian actually, does Persian go down in A tier? They're both cool designs, but somehow I feel like Persian loses something in the transition to full-on cat, whereas Meowth is more original. I don't know, I like Meowth better. I'll definitely put it that way, so S tier it is. Finally, the first Pokemon I actually don't like. Psyduck is C tier for me. C tier for me. C being, I just kind of don't like you. It's okay. I don't know. I just never looked at that and said, yeah, that's a Pokemon I like. It just barely crosses over from kind of indifferent to you to no, I do not like you. Golduck, I'm just kind of indifferent to. It's a pretty nice design. I think it's a lot better than Psyduck. It's because it's so much more original. I think I'm just not that much of a duck person myself. I don't know. Mankey is cool. Primeape is even cooler. I think that's all I have to say about them. Oh, Growlithe is adorable, and Arcanine is... would that be an SS tier? I don't think it's one of my absolute favorites. It's close to SS tier, but they're both really high up in S tier to me. I really love them. Poliwag is adorable. Poliwhirl is still kind of cool. Poliwrath is awesome. So you got adorable, awkward transition, awesome. Again, it happens a lot in Pokemon, but this is pretty accurate for me. Abra is cool. Abracadabra is... wait, Abra is cool. Kadabra is also cool. Alakazam also cool. They're all S tier to me. Not any lower, not any higher. They're pretty awesome Pokemon, but that's about it. I like Machop. I'd put that in S tier. Machoke is S tier. Machamp, I'd say it's still S tier. Again, like, it gets progressively higher as it goes along, but none of them quite make it to my very favorites. I really like Bellsprout. I think Bellsprout's a really cool Pokemon. Weepin' Bell is a little lame in my opinion, and Victory Bell is not much better. I feel like that's not really the direction I would have gone with this evolutionary line, so it kind of goes downhill, but Bellsprout's cool. I like Bellsprout. Then we have the Tentacool, the Pokemon that I would probably rank way up here, but due to bad experiences in the game and just, I don't know, it's still S tier. They're both S tier. They're cool Pokemon. The number of encounters I've had with them while surfing have definitely negated their chances of making it into my favorites, but I like them. I would almost venture to say one of my favorites. It used to be like one of my absolute favorite Pokemon. I think not anymore. I think it's like dropped down a bit. I think it's cool. It's literally just a rock with arms, but I've just always thought it was such a cool Pokemon to have. Graveler is disappointing, I think. Like, I like it more now. Again, it's like, I've liked Geodude a little less over time. I like Graveler a bit more over time. I used to really not like Graveler, but I think it's cooler now than I used to. And Golem, same. I think they're both A tier designs. Not massive fans of them, but also at the same time, I think they're pretty cool. Ponyta is... I mean, let's see, is that an A tier design or an S tier design? I would probably call that an A tier design, and Rapidash is definitely an S tier design. I mean, it's just a horse. It's not just a horse on fire though. Like, their mane is replaced with fire. Something about them, like the idea of them being, I don't know if it's so much that they're fast because they're on fire, or they're on fire because they're fast, or the two are just sort of correlated but not causated. I don't know. Slowpoke. I don't know where I want him. Slowpoke he's an A tier design for me. I like him. I have positive feelings about him. There's just nothing really special about him. Even Slowbro, the whole getting numbed by another Pokemon thing to evolve, it's kind of cool, but yeah, it's not all that special to me. You got Magnemite, who I think is a pretty S tier design, and same goes for Magneton, who is just literally 3 Magnemites stuck together. That's actually how it works. Farfetch'd is pretty cool. I like Farfetch'd. I think he's upper A tier for me. Again, I think I'm just not a duck person. I don't know. I'm finding that out for the first time today, but like realizing all the duck Pokemon I'm kind of met to, even though theoretically on paper I should be. Doduo is cool. Dodrio is also really cool. I like the, I don't know, it's more than multiple heads. Something about, I don't know how to put it. It's like multiple personalities expressed in the same Pokemon. I think it's pretty cool myself. Seal goes in A tier. I kind of like it, but I'm mad to it. Dugong, I think, goes up in S tier. I definitely like Dugong more than Seal. They're both very similar, but Dugong is a definite upgrade. Muck is cool. Grimer is a tiny bit less cool, but I would say they're both S tier to me. I like them both a lot. Shelter is A tier. I like it, but it's just a shell going And then Cloyster is kind of cool to me. It sneaks into S tier for me. It's like got so many spikes and stuff going on. And then the face, you know, like being all maniacal, like it's hiding itself in a trap ready to attack anytime you get near is pretty cool. Ghastly is really great. Haunter, I think, is up in my favorites of all time, and Gengar is, like, they're all really close to my favorites. I think Haunter is my favorite of the three. Onyx is definitely one of my favorites. I love Onyx, that snake rock. That's all there really is to it. It has an amazing name in my opinion. I think Onyx is one of my favorite Pokemon names. Amazing design. I love using it in playthroughs whenever I can. It's fantastic Pokemon. I do not like Drowsy. I think I like Drowsy even less than Psyduck. Drowsy is, I just don't like it. It's not so much its design, it's something about like, I don't like it personally. It's like a personal thing. I don't like Drowsy. Hypno is cooler. I would put it up in B tier. I mean, it's a yellow thing with legs and it hypnotizes people and I don't like it, no. Krabby's A tier to me and so is Kingler. They're just crabs, but they've got like, they're stylized enough to be pretty cool to me and that's all there really is to it. I feel like Kingler would make it into S tier if it was more changed. Because it's approaching there, I think, but it's still just a crab and its claw is bigger and it looks a bit more, I don't know, dumb, I guess. You have Voltorb and Inverted Voltorb being Electrode. I like them both. I think they're cool. They're upper A tier to me for sure, but one's literally just a Pokemon and another one's literally just, one's literally just a Pokeball. The other one's literally just a Pokeball inverted. You got Execute, which is, it's pretty cool. I wouldn't put that in A tier. Neither would I put Executor. I feel like Executor deserves to be S tier, but it's just personally not a huge fan of it. And then Execute is just eggs. Cubone, I like. Cubone is A tier, upper A tier. Marowak, a lowland Marowak is definitely S tier. Does regular Marowak go in S tier? I feel like it doesn't, simply because I've never been that enthused by it. It's cool, but it's just never grabbed my attention. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, both amazing Pokemon. I like them. I like the idea that you have Tyrogue who can evolve into either one depending on its whether its attack or defense is higher, which implies that it's like choosing its fighting style to devote itself to, which I think is amazing. Lickitung, contrary to popular opinion, I like Lickitung. It's definitely not S tier, but it's like mid to upper A tier for me. A lot of people don't like it just because of the tongue, but I don't know. I think it's a cool Pokemon myself. Coughing is definitely cool, so is Wheezing. They're very iconic, and I think that they're amazing Pokemon myself. They're not all that special, they're not upper S tier, but they're certainly not way down in the lowest of the S tier either. Rhyhorn is cool, upper A tier for me. I wouldn't put him in S tier. Neither would I put the very first Pokemon ever made, Rhydon. I do like the thing they've got going on where they're basically, I mean, Rhyhorn is just a rhino covered in, I don't know if it's metal or rocks. He's a ground type, so I'm assuming rocks. Well, no, then he'd be a rock type. Wait. What is Rhyhorn covered with? Either way, you can kind of get the general vibe coming from them. I think they're both really cool. I would actually put Rhydon in S tier. I think it's cooler. Rhyhorn is a little basic to me and not in a charming way. Rhydon is still pretty basic, but in a much more charming way. Chansey. No. I don't like it. It's like, it's an egg holding an egg. What are these things? Is that hair or tentacles? And the egg, it's like, I know it's supposed to be in the pouch and it likes the egg. Is it inset into its body? The whole egg is not showing from its belly. Is the egg half a sphere? I don't understand. And it's not just my lack of understanding. Nothing about this is visually appealing whatsoever. Nor does its playstyle. It's literally its only thing going for it. It says it has monster amount of HP for some reason, so you have to stare at it for ages as you're trying to kill it. Tangela is S tier to me. I think it's really cool. You got a walking pile of kelp or something. I wondering whether the kelp is part of it or just surrounding whatever's inside it. Kangaskhan is very similar to Rhydon to me. I think they go hand in hand, and I love that it has a little baby in its pouch that puts it above it for me because it's just cute. Horsey's upper A tier, and so is Seaking. Goldeen is not my favorite at all. And wait, no, this is Seaking. What's this thing? Got Horsey and Kingdra. What? There are 3 ocean-related Pokemon named King on this list. You got Kingler up. Where did I put him? Over here. You got Kingdra and Seaking. I mean, they're all A tier to me. How have I never noticed this? Was this a thing? Staryu, S tier. Starmie, A tier? SS tier? Question mark? I think so. I love Starmie. I think Starmie is a really great Pokemon. Like the whole jewel thing it's got going on. I love the fact that it's like, I don't know if that's 5 extra arms growing out of its back, or if it's like 2 Staryus mushed together. I don't know, but it's like, it's just a cool Pokemon to me. That's all there is to it. Somehow, even though it has no eyes or mouth or anything distinguishable about it, it gets so much personality for me. On the other hand, what I do not like is Mr. Mime. Go down, all the way down to flaming hot garbage tier. My goodness. Mr. Mime is just so gross. For one, I'm of the opinion that Pokemon should not look like people. They can kind of look like people, like Cacturne, sort of, but Mr. Mime just looks way too much like a person, and nothing about him do I like. There's not a single aspect of his design that I enjoy, except maybe the color palette, but they pulled that off way wrong too. And when I say color palette, I say these 2 colors specifically, the dark blue and the pink. I feel like those go together pretty well, but they pulled it off horribly. Scyther is awesome. Scyther is SS tier for sure. Everybody loves Scyther. I love Scyther a lot. I mean, he's a big bipedal bug with wings and giant, scythe hands. I think he's one of the Pokemon that I first saw and thought, oh wow, Pokemon can be really cool. That's a really cool Pokemon. I've not liked him any less since. Jinx goes in D tier to me. It's not as bad as Mr. Mime, but I just don't like the design. It's not too humanoid for me because there's just not so much. It feels like a non-humanoid real Pokemon in a costume. It's gross. Everything about it is just gross. It's got the dress and the corset and is that a wig or its hair? I don't want to know. And then the big ugly lips. I don't like it. Electabuzz is S tier. That's a really cool Pokemon. So is Magmar. They feel like fire and electric version of the same Pokemon, even though they're not remotely. They're both really cool Pokemon. Neither of them edge up near the top of S tier, but I think they're amazing designs with the lightning bolts and Electabuzz and the melting down lava coming down Magmar. Pinsir is also S tier. Tauros, I'm not a fan of. I think it's very basic. It's like B for meh. I'm only just now realizing it has 3 tails. I've never looked at it long enough to give it the time of day to recognize, oh, it's a bull with 3 tails. And it was the right Pokemon in Sun. I rode around on this thing for ages. How did I not notice it had 3 tails? I must have it's like a lot of things in Pokemon. You just sort of accept it that there's all sorts of weird stuff because all the designs are kind of weird in their own special way. Taurus's design is that he's a bull with 3 tails. That's fine to me, but like, how did that not click? Like, I saw it and thought, okay, he has 3 tails, but it never ran through my brain or something. Like, whenever I thought about Taurus before, at least, and I never pictured it with 3 tails. That's strange. Magikarp is too iconic not to go in S tier. I think even though it's just a fish, and it's not just because it's so iconic, it's like, I think one of the reasons it is iconic is because its design does stand out. Its coloring is nice, its big, I don't know, either dumb or terrified eyes. Pattern on its body is amazing. Gyarados goes up in upper S tier, not quite my favorites. I think it used to be one of my favorites, but I've gotten less attracted to it over the years, but it's still a really cool Pokemon. I love Lapras. Can somebody tell me how I'm supposed to say that? Is it Lapras, Lapras, or Lapras? I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to pronounce it. Can someone tell me the actual pronunciation? Anyways, upper S tier, almost one of my favorites. I love it. Ditto is super cool. Upper S tier. Not quite one of my favorites of all time, but I really love Ditto. He's an adorable little squishy blob. Eevee is one of my favorites of all time. Vaporeon, one of my favorites of all time. Jolteon, one of my favorites of all time. In case you haven't figured out, all the evolution I love. I think they're just adorable, and I love the idea of Eevee being so genetically unstable that changes to its environment makes it whatever type it becomes. So it gets too wet, it turns into Vaporeon. It comes in contact with electricity, turns into Jolteon. Gets too hot, turns to Flareon. And that's just the 3 it can evolve into in this game, and has like 8, I think, at this point. Porygon is cool. No, okay, no, not S tier. Upper S tier. Porygon's really cool. It's like it's called the artificial Pokemon, isn't it? Anyway, it's artificial. It's made by a computer. I don't know, that's all there really is to it. It's just an awesome Pokemon all around. Omanite is, I think that's upper A tier, so is Omastar. They're both cool. Weren't they extinct at some point? Aren't they one of the fossils? Yeah, they're one of the fossil Pokemon. Kabuto I really like, so same with Kabutops. Wait, that's what those ones are, right? I like them both for completely different reasons because their designers are so different, but they're both like up in S tier. I really like them. Like Kabuto's red glowing eye. I'm assuming those are eyes coming down from underneath its shell. It doesn't come across as creepy to me. It comes across as like, I don't know, it's just now coming to life, or I don't know. And Kabutops, obviously, it's a big, got whatever its head thing is and the claws. I don't like it nearly as much as Scyther, but it's a really cool one to me too. Aerodactyl, I feel like its head is too big for its body. It's just kind of an awkward design. I like it. It feels like so much wasted potential, so it's up in A tier to me. Snorlax, do you go in the top of S tier or in SS tier? I like Snorlax. I feel like it's like barely right there. Like it's just riding the line, but I'm sticking him in S tier. I love Snorlax though. He eats, he sleeps, he's chunky, he's cute. What more do you want out of a Pokemon? Articuno is amazing, Zapdos is amazing, Moltres is amazing. I really, really love them. They're amazing legendaries, and I think they're the perfect start to legendaries in Pokemon myself. And even today, their designs are fantastic. Not my favorites, but they're up here with Snorlax. Dratini, Dragonite are both 2 of my absolute favorite Pokemon ever. And I know a lot of other people feel it the same way. They're just like little wiggly dragons, but they're fantastic. I love them so much. Dragonite I used to not like so much. I like it more now. It's still not one of my favorites, but I really love its design. And like, well, no, I don't love its design that much, honestly. Its design to me is still kind of A tier, but everything else about it I think is really, really cool. It's like its story, it's mainly its ability to battle. I think that's really amazing. And then, Mewtwo and Mew. 2 of the coolest Pokemon of all time. The original Pokemon, the one with the DNA of all other Pokemon, who is an adorable little cat who can disappear and learn every move. Then you have Mewtwo, who's made in a lab specifically from the DNA of Mew. Giant telekinetic powerful powerhouse. I think they're both really cool for completely separate reasons. That rounds up my favorites of the original 151 Pokemon, like my absolute favorites. I don't think there's anything down here that I would say like I love so much like these ones. How much are these? 16 Pokemon of the original 151. I think this is an amazing generation. I think almost all of these designs, these are the ones I don't like. Exactly 5. There's exactly 5 that I straight up don't like. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 10 I'm just sort of okay with. And then all the other ones I either like, love, or am in complete love with. So I feel like that's an amazing testament to how amazing the character designs were for all of these. Also a testament to how much of a Pokemon nerd I am, but we don't talk about that. Well, thank you guys for joining me. That was my tier list for all the original 151 Pokemon. If you like that, then make sure to subscribe and let me know down in the comment section if you want to see me do the next generation, Generation 2, which added, I don't remember how many, but somewhere around the same number of Pokemon. I would absolutely love to do that, so let me know if you want to see that. Thank you guys for coming. See you next time.